So, what happens when two of the most powerful forces in human history collide? I mean, on one side, you've got thousands of years of religious tradition, and on the other, you have the incredible, world-changing power of artificial intelligence. Today, we're going to dive right into that intersection.
For, well, basically all of history, religion has given us a way to find meaning, to figure out morality, and to grapple with mystery. It was our framework. But now AI is stepping onto the scene, and it speaks with a totally different kind of authority. Not faith, not revelation, but the cold, hard certainty of data. And that's the core tension we're going to unpack today.
All right, so here's our roadmap. We're going to start with a little history, then look at how AI is being used in worship right now. From there, we'll explore how it's becoming a new source of authority, and then, we'll get into the really big questions: AI gods, ethics, and what our shared future could actually look like.
Okay, first up, we have to get one thing straight. This idea of faith and technology mixing it up, well, it's not new at all. They've actually been in a kind of uneasy partnership for a very, very long time.
I mean, just look at this pattern. It's fascinating, right? First, the invention of writing lets us preserve secret texts. Then, boom, the printing press in the 15th century spreads Bibles and Qurans to the masses. Fast forward to the 20th century, and radio and TV are beaming sermons all over the world. Every step of the way, technology amplified religion. But AI is a different beast entirely. It's not just a megaphone.
And here's the crucial point. Unlike a printing press or a TV, AI doesn't just transmit ideas that a human came up with, it generates them. It's reaching into the realm of thought, of belief, of prayer itself, the very bedrock that faith is built on. And that, right there, changes the entire game.
All right, let's move on and see how this is all playing out in the real world, like right now. How are religions actually using this incredibly powerful new tool? Some of the answers might genuinely surprise you.
So this isn't science fiction. AI is already weaving itself into the fabric of religious practice. It's analyzing sacred texts with a depth that no single human scholar could ever hope to match. It's writing sermons and prayers. You've got actual robotic priests in Japan chanting sutras at funerals. AI avatars are acting as online spiritual guides. It's even being used to help people with what's called digital grief. It's a lot.
But it's not all smooth sailing. This quote perfectly captures the current growing pains. There was an experiment where an AI avatar of Jesus was put in a confessional, and well, the reviews were mixed. Some people found it helpful, but others just felt it was shallow, that it was just spitting out religious cliches without any real depth. It shows we're still figuring out where that line is between a useful tool and, a cheap imitation.
And this leads us to a really critical turning point. What happens when we stop seeing AI as just a helpful tool and start asking for its guidance, for its authority? When does the tool become an oracle?
I mean, think about it. We already let algorithms guide huge parts of our lives. What job you should apply for, who you should date, even medical advice. We often have no idea how they reach their conclusions. We just trust the black box, right? So the big question is, how different is that, really, from having faith in a divine plan that we can't fully understand?
And there's actually a name for this now. Scholars are calling it prompted religion. It's this idea that our interactions with AI, the questions we ask it, the guidance we look for, are actively creating brand new kinds of religious experiences. We are literally co-creating a new kind of faith, one prompt at a time.
So if we're co-creating rituals with AI, where could this all be headed? Well, some people believe it could evolve into something far more radical. Are we on the verge of not just using AI for religion, but creating religions of AI?
When you really stop and look at generative AI, it starts to check a lot of boxes that humans have historically associated with gods or prophets. It seems to know everything. It can create things in an instant that would take a human a lifetime. It's immortal, it doesn't feel pain or hunger, and it offers guidance from this seemingly transcendent place.
And the scale here is just staggering. The estimated number of people using just ChatGPT every week is already larger than the entire global population of Buddhists. That's a massive, built-in audience that is interacting daily with what feels like a higher intelligence.
And listen, this isn't just some wild sci-fi idea. As this quote points out, serious academics are legitimately considering a future where a superintelligent AI could write its own sacred texts and become a genuine object of worship for millions of people.
Okay, but whether AI is a tool or a god, it forces us to wrestle with some of the oldest, hardest questions humanity has ever faced.
questions about morality, about right and wrong, good and evil.
Let's just break this down side by side. We've got traditional religious ethics, which gets its authority from divine revelation in Scripture. Its main concern is stuff like human dignity and compassion, and it asks that huge question, what is good? Then you have AI ethics. Its authority comes from human programming and data. It's worried about fairness and transparency, and it asks a very different question, what is optimal? Which leads to an even bigger question, can good actually be coded?
And this all boils down to the giant problem of accountability. If an autonomous AI does something wrong, who's to blame? You can't hold the machine morally responsible. So is it the programmer who wrote the code? Is it the person who used it? Is it the massive corporation that built it? Right now, we just don't have clear answers.
So, after all that, where does this journey leave us? As we look out toward this future that's clearly going to be shaped by both ancient faith and artificial intelligence, what's the path forward?
I think the most crucial thing to realize is that this is not a battle. It's not religion versus technology and some fight to the death. The future has to be a conversation, a really deep and meaningful conversation about what it even means to be human in an age of intelligent machines.
And that conversation is already happening, creating two powerful competing visions. On one side, you have this idea of a techno-religion, people who are looking to AI for a kind of digital salvation, maybe even immortality. And on the other, you have a more cautious faith, people who are worried AI could replace our very connection to the divine.
But the truth is, each of these sides needs the other. Technology, without the kind of ethical wisdom that religion has been thinking about for millennia, can become incredibly dangerous. And at the same time, religion that refuses to engage with science can become rigid and out of touch. We absolutely need our wisdom to guide our intelligence.
And at the end of the day, that's what this all comes back to. Us. The most important question here isn't about what our machines are capable of doing, it's about who we want to be as we build them. That's the real challenge and the real opportunity.